never thought in a million years that I'd be sitting here saying anything to anyone about any of this.
Explain what was going on and when it started.
Okay. More and more, I guess, I just became a loner and trying to sort things out on my own and people out on my own, and all of my problems, I just kind of took them internally. And one day when I couldn't go to work, I couldn't get out the bed, I couldn't get dressed, I couldn't decide what I should wear or how I wanted my hair to be. And I just went in the bathroom and cut every piece of hair off my head. Because in that moment, it just was too much. It just, for no apparent reason, it just felt like too much. So I cut my hair off. And it was the most free thing in the world. I felt so free in that moment when I was doing it. But then, and then a girlfriend that we were living together, she got home from work and she saw what I did. And the look on her face just drove me insane. I was like, oh God, I've done something wrong. I've messed myself up. What have I done to myself? Coming to life again in the mirror, what in the hell did I do to myself? I'm bald, I already don't look the way that I want to look, and my hair was the one thing that I felt I had going for me, and now it's gone. So I was disappointed in myself for allowing me to jump over and doing something that my emotions talked me into without saying, what's wrong with you? Come back to life. But in that moment, like I said, I felt so free. It was like everything was being lifted off of my chest just by that hair falling into the sink and me seeing it. Haven't done that ever again. But I kept internalizing emotions and losing jobs because I wasn't able to focus on what needed to be done every day. It would always come to this point where I felt so overwhelmed.
Will it all be okay?
When I was
I don't know.
first divorced and wasn't working or had just gone back to work, and everybody would say to me, oh, you won't have any trouble finding a husband, you'll be remarried in no time. And so I made the decision to strategically date, and strategically dated men who I knew that could financially support me or help me. And they weren't relationships that I would choose for me on a personal level because they added value to my life on a personal level, or added joy, or any of those typical things that we seek out in relationships. They were a financial means to an end. And some of them really loved me and cared about me, and I loved them. But there's always equity in relationships, and sometimes the equity that I offered wasn't what I wanted to offer, but it kept a roof over everybody's head and fed everybody and kept us basically alive. I'm not proud to say that I used people, but I did. I used people to keep my kids safe and fed, and I used people to keep going, and it's not something I'm proud of, but it's what I had to do, and I don't like it. It's not something I would want for any of my kids, but I did what I had to do.
I couldn't find it in myself to reach out to nobody. And it just hurt. Like everything in me hurt. And an eyebrow arch was my tool of choice. I just took it, and for the first time. The pain that I felt on the inside felt like it was coming out through that little cut that I put on my leg.
Thankful for the darkest clouds that makes your sun feel bright.
And just like that moment when I was in the mirror cutting my hair, I felt so free. So I sat there on the floor next to the bed, and I did it again. And something in me was saying this is not okay, but that something in me couldn't combat me feeling better, you know. All of me was saying this is not okay, but I felt better.
You're familiar with the pain you have. You're kind of used to it. And that's safer for you because you know how to deal with it, sort of. I mean, you put up with it. Then going into the depths of your consciousness where there are some major pains. And a lot of them are very young. So we've repressed them for a long, long time. And we've created a life around who we aren't.
Where's the healing I've never known? Drowning out the fear and silence the shame. It's like a whisper.